attack inside a high school just hours before prom.
We are obviously devastated by the loss of one of our students.
A 16-year-old girl killed, and friends say her classmate did it.
An explosive discovery outside a Worcester home locks down a neighborhood.
Not a lot of good news when it comes to the weather this weekend, but it won't be a total washout. We'll time out the dry times and the wet times.
And taking the guesswork out of shopping, how to find exactly what you want for the right price.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
A Connecticut community is in shock tonight. A teenager dies after she's stabbed in a high school hallway. Classmates say a boy pulled a knife after the girl turned down his invitation to prom. Thanks for being with us this evening. I'm Lisa Hughes, in tonight for Paula.
And I'm Jonathan Elias. Right now, a junior at the high school is in custody, accused of this crime. Police rushed to Jonathan Law High in Milford, Connecticut, just about 7 o'clock this morning. Jerika Duncan joins us live from there tonight with the very latest. Jerika?
Good evening, Jonathan and Lisa. Tonight, the American flag here at Jonathan Law High School is at half-staff in memory of 16-year-old Marin Sanchez. Police say a student stabbed her to death. Jonathan Law High School in Milford, Connecticut is now a crime scene. A 16-year-old girl was stabbed to death there Friday morning.
There was an altercation between two students where a male student, a 16-year-old male student, assaulted a 16-year-old female student.
Police are investigating whether the suspect stabbed the girl after she turned him down for the junior prom.
From what I knew, they were friends up until today.
The victim is identified as Marin Sanchez, a 16-year-old honor student. She was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital.
The unprovoked attack resulted in the permanent loss of Marin Victoria Sanchez, a bright light full of hopes and dreams with her future at her fingertips.
Students were sent home early while police pieced together what happened. The school also called off tonight's prom.
This evening was supposed to be our junior prom and post-prom. Those events are being postponed.
The teenage boy is now in police custody and on suicide watch. His name is not being released because he's a minor. And right now, again, police haven't released any new information about the suspect other than to say that he is still in custody at this hour. As far as students and counselors, they're expected to come by this evening in the gymnasium to gather in memory of Marin. The girls were asked to bring corsages in memory of Marin Sanchez. Jonathan and Lisa?
Jerika, can you give us an idea? Is this a big school? Is this a small school? What are we talking about?
Yeah, this is a pretty close-knit community. I'm told that there are two main high schools in this county, one of them, or in this township rather, one of them being Milford, or Jonathan Law High School, about 900 students. We did get a chance to talk to a couple that were still here when we arrived not too long ago, and they were all pretty heartbroken and stunned by what happened. Some even said that they were familiar with the suspect, even though he has not been named yet, and said that they were shocked because he was not considered a loner type. But somebody that got along well. Of course, we'll expect to learn a little bit more later on this evening. Jonathan and Lisa?
It makes absolutely no sense. Jerika Duncan coming to us live this evening from Milford, Connecticut. Thank you, Jerika.
Well, there's some frightening moments in Worcester today. Police discovered a pipe bomb attached to a car. The bomb squad evacuated the area, and as Paul Burton shows us, investigators are trying to figure out who planted the device.
First, there were gunshots.
Two of the bullets went in my television.
Then a pipe bomb.
They were on top here, and the fuse was on this side.
Now this Worcester family of 5 is terrified after coming under attack in their own home.
More than scary.
Worcester police say they first responded to this 2-story home on Barclay Street early Thursday morning after someone fired multiple rounds into the house. Then later today, a pipe bomb was placed on the back of the family car.
It was in plain view. There was no attempt to hide the device.
Mass State Police bomb squad, along with ATF and K-9 units, responded to the home. The pipe bomb was quickly detonated.
We don't believe that this is a random act. We can't, at this point in the investigation, say that the shooting and the bomb incident are related, but we believe they may be.
Stephen Bowhill says his family has no enemies and can't imagine why someone would try to harm them.
And I have no issue with anybody at all, zero. My son goes to North High. And he doesn't have problem with anybody. He plays basketball and soccer. That's it.
The family obviously very concerned about their safety. The scene is now clear. The incident remains under investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact Worcester Police. In Worcester, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
An elderly woman is recovering after getting hit by a commuter rail train. She is 77 years old, and investigators say that she was walking across the tracks in Framingham, even though the crossing gate was down. Paramedics flew the woman to Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center with serious injuries. There were 700 people on the train at the time. They're all okay. The engineer will not be facing any charges. And a big scare at Fall River home. Paramedics came to this multi-family house on Ridge Street this morning and found 6 people with signs of carbon monoxide poisoning. Emergency workers took 5 children and 1 adult to the hospital. Everyone, we're told, is expected to be okay.
Murder suspect Jared Remy is defending his family in a letter to the Boston Herald aimed at columnist Marjorie Egan. In an editorial last month, Egan wrote that Red Sox broadcaster Jerry Remy and his wife had failed as parents. Well, in his letter, Jared Remy writes, quote, "I did expect you to talk all kinds of unfactful negativity about me, but it was below the belt to include my family in my alleged doing," unquote.
Well, hope you got the chance to get outside and enjoy some of the sunshine, and we say that because it won't last.
Sadly, this weekend is looking to be pretty ugly. You don't get to say pretty and ugly together quite like that. Our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, joins us now. Eric, not great news.
It's not going to be one of our finest. It's not a total washout, but it's early today is the pick of the next 7 to 10, as a matter of fact. Temperatures, we'll take it. 61 in Worcester, Nashua's at 66. A little cooler right along the water. Boston's at 55. Chatham at 50 with a sea breeze kicking in, so if you're near the shore, of course, feeling some of that natural AC. Sunshine and high clouds here in southern New England, but the denser cloud cover working toward the Hudson Valley. Severe weather actually down toward the mid-Atlantic. This is the system that will move in as we head into tonight. So if you have any dinner plans this evening, no issues whatsoever there. It's going to be nice and dry well past midnight. So we head toward tomorrow morning and sunrise. That's when the rain moves in. It will be a good one to sleep in for a little while. And the heaviest rainfall from this should be south of Boston and toward the Cape and the islands. So we'll call it a sleep-in Saturday. Chilly temperatures to start the weekend. There could even be a little bit of snowfall tomorrow night, and cool weather is definitely going to be the operative part of the forecast. We'll talk about the timing for all this and if that snow is actually going to materialize to much coming up in a little bit. Jonathan?
He said snow. All right, Eric, we'll see you in a bit. Thanks. Hackers targeting the website of Boston Children's Hospital, and it is causing some very big problems. Here's why. People looking to donate are locked out. As Beth Germano shows us, those raising money to help those who help them are very frustrated.
And then the buffet is going to be over there.
Last-minute preparations for what Mary Ellen Burns hopes will be a full hall tomorrow night to raise money for Children's Hospital. But the timing couldn't be worse.
Everything I've done has been online. You know, I created the page. My outreach has been through social media and through emails and texts to friends.
This is her inspiration, her 1-year-old son Jeremiah, who had life-saving surgery in December. And Burns wants to give something back, hoping to raise several $1,000s. But it's almost impossible to get into the children's website now, or fundraising links like the one for Burns, which takes you to an error page. In a statement, the hospital says, over the weekend and through today, Boston Children's website has been the target of multiple attacks designed to bring down the site by overwhelming its capacity.
You know that we're definitely going to lose some of that money in the translation.
A shadowy hacker network known as Anonymous may be behind it with its own agenda, protesting the handling of the Justina Pelletier case, the teen who spent months in the hospital psychiatric ward after children's accused her parents of abuse. Barraging the site not only affects small fundraisers like Burns, but even marathoners who ran for children's and are trying to reach their own goals. The hospital suggests calling in donations or mailing them.
And then the thought of writing out a check and mailing it, like I would just never get to do it. And I don't want to spend the whole event sitting at a table outside the door.
She only hopes the attack will, in the end, be a help.
But this is a call to action to people to actually step up and make more donations to them, to kind of stick it in the face of these idiots if someone did in fact do this intentionally.
A Twitter account linked to the group Anonymous is calling on members to halt the cyber attack, saying it's a hospital, stop it. Children's will only say that law enforcement is looking into the source and hopes to solve the problem as soon as possible. Jonathan?
All right, Beth, thank you. Well, he made up the whole thing. A New Hampshire father who says that his infant son was nearly kidnapped wasn't telling the truth. The man told Salem officers that he was on a trail in the woods just last night when someone came up from behind and grabbed a stroller with his 8-month-old inside. The father claimed that he ran after the man and was able to get the stroller back. but the would-be abductor got away. Investigators say it never happened. Police say the neighborhood and community are safe.
Well, Boston firefighters may be getting a new contract and a raise of almost 19%. The Boston Globe reports it's a 6-year deal that would cost the city more than $94 million. It's retroactive to July of 2011. It would be in effect until June of 2017. Firefighters have been working without a contract for 3 years, and Mayor Marty Walsh says the money is there. The vote is expected on Tuesday. Well, tonight, Boston Cardinal Sean O'Malley is in one of his other favorite cities, Rome.
He celebrated Mass with parishioners from Massachusetts who have traveled all the way to the Vatican to be a part of this weekend's canonization. This huge celebration, too. And Jack Williams joins us now with the details. Jack?
Jonathan, Lisa, thank you. Quite a day today as well. Cardinal O'Malley says both popes set to become saints this weekend made impressions on Boston. Today it was standing room only in the church inside the Vatican. Our Cardinal Sean spoke of Pope John Paul II, who was the only pope to visit Boston, and Pope John XXIII had a personal impact on Cardinal O'Malley, influencing him to learn Spanish. But perhaps the most interesting question Cardinal O'Malley answered, will the current Pope, Pope Francis, make a pilgrimage here to Boston?
We're hoping he will come to the States. There's nothing official. It's still a year and a half away before the family conference in Philadelphia. And we know that he's going to be pulled in 1,000 different directions. Mayor Walsh wrote a beautiful letter to the Holy Father. I was very touched by it, and I added my own invitation to that. So we have our oar in the water, but I know many other places will be asking too.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Cardinal O'Malley says regardless of whether Pope Francis makes a stop here in Boston, he's already made such an impression on the world. By the way, a record number, 2 million people expected at the Vatican this weekend. Jonathan.
All right, Jack, thanks very much. And our Paula Evan will be one of those 2 million. She'll be there for the canonization ceremony. You can watch for her live reports right here on WBZ.
Now, this weekend's canonization is not without controversy. Coming up, a closer look at some of the rules that were changed along the way in order to turn 2 former popes into saints.
Plus, an early morning blast nearly levels an entire city block. What investigators think caused this massive explosion in a Seattle suburb?
And oh baby, local firefighters spring into action when a woman goes into labor right outside their station. How they also saved the baby's life.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Luna.
Buy 2 rooms of flooring with installation and get product for the rest of your home for $99.
877-241 Luna.
Brakes are designed to squeak when they start to go back. So if your brakes sound annoying, like this, then it's time to get your brakes inspected.
Come into your local Meineke today for 50% off brake pads and shoes.
Time to buy a Honda Accord?
We don't call it the Spring into a Honda sales event for nothing.
What makes this Accord so special?
Rear camera, Bluetooth, Pandora compatibility, all standard.
I'm not convinced.
It's an IIHS 2014 top safety fix.
There's a bear behind you.
Way to stay on your toes, Robert.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring into a Honda sales event. Now at your Honda dealer. Traditions are alive and well in the north end of Boston, like coming home for Prince Spaghetti Day. For over 100 years, Prince and families like Anthony's have been making great pasta and wonderful memories. So come home to the pasta that was born in Boston. Come home to Prince, especially on Wednesday, Prince Spaghetti Day.
It's a real estate jungle out there. That's why we've let a lion loose in your neighborhood. But there's no need to run. This lion is on your side every step of the way. Lear Realty Partners. We're one of the largest real estate firms in New England, with over 300 experienced agents, a 15-year track record, and the latest tools, roaring into the market with a brand new name, Lear Realty Partners. The roar that opens more doors.
So again, throwing in the $1,000 fuel reward card is really what makes it like 2 deals in one.
Actually, getting a great car with 42 highway miles per gallon makes it like 2 deals in one.
Point is, there's never been a better time to buy a Jetta TDI clean diesel.
During the first ever Volkswagen TDI clean diesel event, get a great deal on a Jetta TDI. It gets 42 highway miles miles per gallon and get a $1,000 fuel reward card. It's like 2 deals in one. Volkswagen has the most TDI clean diesel models of any brand. Hurry in and get a $1,000 fuel reward card and 0.9% APR for 60 months on TDI models.
Brakes are designed to squeak when they start to go bad. So if your brakes sound annoying, like this, then it's time to get your brakes inspected.
Come into your local Meineke today for 50% off brake pads and shoes.
This was a special delivery, to be sure, in a very public place.
And Quincy firefighters rose to meet a call in the middle of the night. That's not unusual. This was. As Sarah Conji shows us, they not only delivered a baby, they helped save that little girl's life.
Lieutenant Sean Darcy finished his overnight shift with quite a story to tell.
About 1:30 this morning, we got a knock on the door from a cab driver.
A cab driver was knocking, seeking help for a woman in labor right across from the firehouse on Hancock Street.
When I pulled up on scene, quickly noticed that the woman had already given partial birth to a baby.
Lieutenant Darcy and 2 other firefighters sprung into action and helped deliver the baby girl. But it doesn't end there. The newborn was not breathing.
I was able to suction the baby's airway and stimulate the baby to breathe, and baby started to cry.
The cab driver with Yellow Cab of Quincy called his dispatcher, who dialed 911. Soon after, the ambulance arrived to take mom, dad, and baby girl to the hospital.
A good ending. Mom, dad, and baby all went to the hospital, and everybody was breathing and crying and happy.
Happy and lucky to have found Lieutenant Darcy. In Quincy, Sarah Conji, WBZ News.
Better to be good and lucky.
Yeah, big tears of joy there.
Yeah, nice job. All right, let's talk about the weather situation. Today was a great day. Can we just get a couple more of these, get us through Sunday, and then let next week happen?
Guess not.
Jonathan loves to set me up to fail. Let's talk about the color coordination here, by the way. We got purple tie, and a very complimentary color. We didn't even plan these things.
That
now you're trying to divert, right? We're not going to talk about the weather.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain here at the forecast. All right, let's talk about
version.
What is on the way. Not like today. Blue sky, flowering magnolias in Plymouth. Bernie sent this picture in. A lot of beautiful spring colors that are popping all over the place. Although whenever I say that, I get a flood of hate mail saying, don't you know it's allergy season? It's miserable outside. I apologize to all those folks who are dealing with the allergies right now. High temperatures today. We can take this. 66 in Nashville. It was up to 64 in Keene. These are about our current temperatures as well. 56 in Boston and 54 in Chatham. A sea breeze developing this afternoon, cooling it down a little bit near the water. Tonight, you got plans, no issues. Quiet. We'll be looking at generally clouds increasing, and then the rain arrives late, but closer towards sunrise. So most of the overnight is dry. This is the system we're watching. You notice a big spin here around the Great Lakes. There's actually tornadoes on the ground here down toward North Carolina and Virginia. We won't deal with the severe weather side of this, but we will see the rainfall. See it nosing up towards Scranton right now, and it'll be arriving after midnight later on tonight. So here's a look at the timing. If you wake up tomorrow morning, good one to stay in bed. The rain will be arriving, will be coming down fairly heavily, and it may just start to weaken down and diminish a little bit for the afternoon. So perhaps a break of drier weather, you'll be able to get outside. Then another impulse is going to swing through in the evening and overnight. That will touch off a few more showers, maybe some thunder, and yes, maybe a little bit of snowfall before the system sits and spins off our coast. Now on Sunday, not a lot of potency to it, but there should be some clouds lingering and a little bit of shower activity before all of it settles off to the east on Monday. In terms of total rainfall, thinking very close to a ½ inch of total rain. You might get more than an inch right here on Cape Cod and the islands. Heaviest rain should be on the south side away from Boston as you head toward the North Shore in southern New Hampshire. We are expecting smaller amounts of rainfall, so not quite as much of a soaking. In terms of the snow, higher elevations will be closer to that colder air aloft, so the Worcester Hills, Monadnock region, the Berkshires, could see some wet flakes and some coatings on Saturday night while you sleep, so maybe some snow on the ground in a few towns when you wake up on Sunday. Not a big deal, just bizarre at the end of April. So Saturday, a wet and cold morning, a little break in the afternoon. Temperatures will stay in the 40s though, so a very raw, chilly April day. On Saturday night, there'll be a couple of downpours, maybe some flashes of lightning and thunder, and some wet flakes with temperatures in the 30s. And then on Sunday, a lot of clouds around, couple of showers, not a washout day, but not a great day either. Upper 40s to lower 50s on Sunday. And then as we look toward Monday, wind right out of the north. It's not a warm direction for us, some more below average temps. And then the wind is right off the water. Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday, and that is going to keep us very cool for much of next week. And that takes us through the end of April and the start of May. So we always get a stretch like this somewhere mixed in. Here's a look at your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Monday, probably the pick of next week in the 50s with sunshine, but it's 40s after that. The wind off the water, 30s at night. Showers are likely by Wednesday, Heavier rainfall possible Thursday into Friday. Overall, not our best on the 7-day forecast. Coming up next half hour, we'll talk a little bit more about the weekend and some severe weather in the middle of the country. Jonathan?
All right, we'll see you then, Eric. Thanks. President Obama spent the day in Seoul, South Korea, offering his condolences in the ferry tragedy. He paused for a moment of silence to honor the victims. At least 181 people lost their lives when that ferry capsized last week. More than 100 others are still missing. Police arrested the ship's captain and some members of the crew in connection with the sinking, but investigators don't know what caused the vessel to go down. There are some reports that suggest maybe the ferry was carrying too much cargo. President Obama says he will donate a magnolia tree from the White House lawn to the South Korean high school that lost more than 200 of its students in that disaster.
Well, it happened in an instant. Part of a Seattle suburb's main street leveled. This was a massive explosion that ripped through a section of North Bend, Washington early this morning. Officials think it originated in a pizza shop that was under renovation. You can actually see the blast marks and the building's bricks, which are tossed all over the place. The sound of the explosion woke up neighbors blocks away.
All of a sudden there was a big boom, and I thought it was an earthquake because everything was shaking, the windows were rattling, and I thought, oh my God, what's going on?
The explosion also destroyed the barber shop next to the pizza restaurant. Officials are investigating if natural gas is the source of this blast. Firefighters say what's really lucky here is that the explosion happened in the early morning hours when nobody was around. Incredibly, there were reports of just 2 minor injuries.
It does seem that steakhouses are more popular now than ever before. Dan Annelman of the Phantom Gourmet slices into some of the city's best spots for beef.
Boston Chops in the South End puts a modern twist on the classic steakhouse experience, offering poutine-style baked potatoes and exceptional bone-in steaks.
It's just this new, fun, hip, modern interpretation with food that people can really connect to, but maybe presented to them in a different way, in a very modern way.
Smith & Wollensky at Atlantic Wharf offers an elegant dining room, water views, and highly marbled dry-aged beef.
If you're going to order a steak at Smith & Wollensky, the 24-ounce ribeye bone-in is the steak to order. If somebody had to say to me, what's the last thing you want to eat, that would be it.
The Stockyard in Brighton has new owners and a newly refurbished look with a menu that ranges from high-end to highly affordable.
We're trying to make the menu very accessible, where there is an option there for someone who might want a prime steak, but other than that, you have different options, some of them under $30.
And there are even more steakhouses coming to Greater Boston. Chops Restaurant will open at the Marriott Hotel in Burlington, and Nick Verano of Strega plans to open a new steakhouse at the Boston Park Plaza Hotel. For more food and fun, watch the Phantom Gourmet Saturday and Sunday at 10:30 and 11 on MyTV 38.
Well, from food to drink, coffee lovers rejoice. You could be protecting yourself against a serious disease.
Yeah, still to come for us, a new reason to indulge in a second cup.
And we know diet and exercise are the best ways to stay in shape, but more people are also relying on something else, and doctors are worried about it. Now, here's a look at what's coming up at 6.
New at 6, a massive project to rebuild this busy bridge put on hold because of graffiti. Who wrote the taunting message and why the state is so angry over it?
This food segment is sponsored by Phantom Gourmet.
We went in for a common procedure to treat a fibroid tumor.
I went into this relatively reassured that everything was okay.
But weeks later, was diagnosed with cancer.
The risks are higher than we thought.
And her story isn't unique.
She was my best friend. I don't know why it happened. I'm angry. Say it.
Dr. Malika Marshall examines the dangers of our routine treatment.
It had spread the cancer everywhere.
What women should know that many doctors don't. Tonight on WBZ News at 11.
The Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on a well-equipped Corolla Sport for only $117 a month with no cost maintenance included. The Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up May 5th. Toyota, let's go places.
Report a claim. Pay your bill. Safety's mobile app is just one more way we help you manage life's storms. For auto, home, and business, ask your independent agent about safety insurance.
Is it a good time to buy a Honda Accord?
We don't call it the Spring Into a Honda sales event for nothing.
What makes this Accord so special?
Rear-view camera, Bluetooth, Pandora compatibility, all standard.
I'm not convinced.
It's an IIHS 2014 top safety fit.
There's a bear behind you.
Way to stay on your toes, Robert.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now, at your Honda dealer.
Looks can be deceiving. It's certainly true with furniture. Two items may appear to be the same, but are they? At Boston Interiors, all of the upholstered furniture is made in America. Each piece is crafted with high-grade American hardwood, reinforced block corners, and eco-friendly materials. So when you shop at Boston Interiors, you buy furniture that's great-looking and long-lasting. Visit Boston Interiors today and save during our spring home sale. The smarter you are about furniture, the more you'll love Boston Interiors. Get ready. Spring has finally arrived, and a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive can help you enjoy it. Love the road you're on in a brand new Subaru Forester, Motor Trend's 2014 Sport Utility of the Year. Drive home a brand new Subaru Forester, a top safety pick plus, for only $21,995. Plus, get 1.9% financing for up to 48 months. Get a great deal and go love spring.
Millions of Americans take medications to keep their cholesterol in check. But as Alexis Christopher shows us in tonight's Health Watch, a new study suggests that some people use that as a free pass to eat whatever they want.
57-year-old John Paradiso went on a statin to lower his cholesterol after his doctor told him he had heart disease.
Yeah, I was definitely scared. I was definitely scared.
In addition to taking medication, Paradiso stopped eating red meat and started a heart-healthy diet. But a new study finds that's not the case for many people on statins.
What we have seen is that over time, people who have been on statins are eating more calories and eating more fat.
The study in JAMA Internal Medicine looked at nearly 30,000 people over 10 years and found people using cholesterol-lowering drugs ate more and gained weight.
If your cholesterol is normal, you might perceive that you don't have as much of an incentive to watch what you eat.
Millions of Americans are on statins, and under recent guidelines, a third of U.S. adults could be advised to take them. Study author Dr. Martin Shapiro says while the drugs work well, there's more to preventing heart disease than just lowering cholesterol.
Taking medications should not be a substitute for trying to live one's life healthfully without them.
Paradiso is making healthier choices. He exercises regularly and eats plenty of fish, fruits, and vegetables. Alexis Christoforous, CBS News, New York.
Well, coffee may be a healthy drink, healthier than we realized. Your favorite drink may help lower the risk of diabetes. Harvard researchers say people who drank an extra cup and a half a day over a 4-year period reduced their chance of developing the disease by 11%, and it works the other way. If you cut back on your coffee consumption, your risk for diabetes goes up. Coming up new tonight at 11 on WBZ, Anita mother now being treated for cancer that spread because of a surgery she had for a totally different problem.
We had gone to see the oncologist who confirmed that yes, indeed, my prognosis was now worse because of the surgical procedure.
Dr. Malika Marshall explains how this happened and what the government is now advising hospitals to do so that other women don't get sick like this. That's coming up tonight, right here on WBZ News at 11.
State of Massachusetts is suing a Rhode Island-based veterans charity.
Still to come, why the charity is operating illegally and why local vets haven't seen a dime.
Plus, as the Vatican prepares for this weekend's canonization ceremonies, some are questioning the decision to turn 2 former popes into saints. We examine the canonization controversy.
And a daycare shut down. A mother whose son was there for months is talking about her experience with the owner.
Monday morning on WBZ, the valuable items the state is putting up for auction.
And why privacy experts say some home security systems go too far. After a wet weekend, when our next chance for rain comes.
Traffic and weather together Monday, starting at 4:30.
Congratulations to all the runners. Together, we finish the race. WBZ-TV, proud to be your official home for the Boston Marathon.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
The all-new Chevy Silverado
From the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road, the truck that beats any Ford F-150 in fuel economy, and the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. And now, during Chevy Truck Month, the price you see is the price you pay for a 2014 Chevy Silverado. Now, current non-GM lessees can lease this all-new 2014 Silverado for just $269 a month.
Visit your New England Chevy dealer.
Hi, I'm Roberto Napoleon. People always ask me, what is the Nicolot difference? When it comes to product, homeowners want the best.
It lasts. It looks like the day it was laid down.
This is a Nicolot, this is a competitive brand. See the difference in the intensity of the color.
And the color went all the way through.
We apply a protective surface and eliminate all the pitfalls that other brands may have. That will not happen with a paver-shield product. They can be confident it's the best product they can possibly buy. See the Nicolot difference.
For more information, visit Nicolock.com/TV2.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee. Hurry to your local dealer now during the Jeep Award season for great deals on the entire Jeep lineup.
Really? Okay. All right.
Use the ready-to-go spreader and save time. Just turn it on and go. It makes lawn care easy.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive our lowest $178 a month lease on an all-wheel drive RAV4 with no cost maintenance included. Or get 0 for 60 plus $500 bonus cash on Sienna, including all-wheel drive models. Hurry, on May 5th, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
Our top stories tonight at 5:30, a 16-year-old Connecticut girl stabbed to death at her high school. A junior at the school is now in custody. Investigators are trying to figure out if he attacked Marin Sanchez because she turned down his invitation to the prom. The prom was supposed to take place tonight. It has been postponed.
Worcester police are investigating the discovery of a pipe bomb attached to a car outside of a home. That's it, sitting up on the spare tire there. There was a shooting at this same house this morning. Officers now are trying to figure out if the two incidents are connected.
And shutting down a New Hampshire daycare. Stunning revelations from the investigation. A mother whose child was once at that daycare is speaking out about her concerns with the owner.
She told our New Hampshire Bureau Chief Michael Rosenfield that she now understands why her son never wanted to go to that center.
Annie's Place officially shut down. The daycare's license revoked as of the close of business today. Despite voices inside, nobody came to the door, but someone did call police. The police chief tells us so far there are no criminal allegations.
Looking back now, it makes me sick to know that I was putting him in that situation.
A mom named Ashley, who didn't want her face on camera, told us her 17-month-old son had been attending the daycare for 4 months.
I would say that my experience was not pleasant.
Ashley says Annie's Place and owner Ann Mitchell came highly recommended, but Ashley quickly had concerns.
She was rude, very short, and as far as the kids concerned, it seemed like they were in the way, as opposed to her primary concern.
Ashley noticed some of the problems state investigators outlined this week in a blistering report, which accused the daycare's owner of yelling at children and rough handling as well. Was she rough with them?
A few times I noticed her jerking my son up off the floor.
The state says Mitchell would also restrain children by tucking them under tightly wrapped sheets. According to the report, Mitchell said she was just training them to sleep.
You should not in any way be treating a child this way, and for her to justify it in any way is offensive.
We reached out to Annie's Place both in person and over the phone for 2 days, but we've been unsuccessful in hearing from the owner. In New Hampton, New Hampshire, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News.
Well, fire investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a fast-moving fire in Hopkinton. Firefighters rushed to the home on Oakhurst Street about 11:15 last night. Crews were able to get everybody out safely, and the Red Cross now is helping those victims. The home, as you can see, suffered serious damage.
Former Lawrence Mayor William Lantigua wants to get back into politics. He plans to run as an independent for the 16th Essex House seat. Lantigua held the same seat as a Democrat for 8 years before he became mayor. There are 2 investigations, though, right now into Lantigua's conduct when he was in office, and the Attorney General is suing over campaign finance violations.
President Obama and European leaders now are talking about new sanctions against Russia as the violence in Ukraine intensifies. Pro-Russian militants say they attacked this helicopter. Ukraine's prime minister says the Russian forces came within 1 kilometer of the border and that Moscow was ready to start World War III. President Obama says something needs to be done.
What we've been trying to do is to continually raise the costs for Russia of their actions while still leaving the possibility of them moving in a different direction.
And here's the problem. Several European countries have been hesitant to levy sanctions against Russia's energy sector because they get much of their gas from Russia. On Sunday, 2 former popes will become saints. And right now, preparations are underway for the huge crowd expected at this weekend's ceremony.
And as Alan Pizzi shows us, those festivities at the Vatican are not without controversy.
Preparations are being made for as many as 1 million people to attend a ceremony that is controversial on several levels. Rules have been waived, or in the view of some, not given enough weight. John Paul II was put on the fast track of a process that usually takes decades, if not centuries. In response to chants of Santo Subito, make him a saint now, at John Paul II's funeral, Pope Benedict XVI dispensed with the mandated 5-year waiting period for the work on proving sainthood to begin. In the case of John the 23rd, beloved by Catholics as the Good Pope, his life of holiness was judged to be a substitute for one of the 2 miracles that are required for canonization. A nun told the story of the now deceased member of her order who said she was cured thanks to the intercession of John the 23rd. In response to those who asked whether or not miracles can be proven, there was Floribeth Diaz, who said she was cured of a brain aneurysm thanks to John Paul II. A lot of people say that I'm crazy, she said, but this crazy lady is healthy, and that's the most important thing for me. John Paul II and John the 23rd were seen as coming from opposite poles of a divided Catholic Church, and some claim one is being canonized to balance out the other. Father Thomas Rosica disagrees.
We had the liberal and the conservative, and all of those differences pale in reality, because what is a canonization? What is a beatification? It's a declaration of holiness and proximity to God, and people being offered up as role models for us.
It's interesting to note that many of those in the audience on Sunday will have seen one, and in some cases both, of the new saints when they were still alive. That's something that hasn't happened since saints were proclaimed by popular acclamation centuries ago. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Vatican City.
And our Paula Evan will be there for the canonization ceremony. You can watch for her live reports right here on WBZ.
Tens of thousands of runners pounded the pavement during the Boston Marathon, but some of them weren't supposed to be there. Coming up for us, bandits caught on camera with stolen bib numbers.
Plus, help for shoppers who know what they want but just can't find it. How social media is revolutionizing the way we shop.
It's Bernie and Phil's Triple Play. And you get it free right away. Your choice. Free tax, free delivery, free interest until 2017. With no minimum, no down payment, and no waiting.
That's nice. It's award season. So what do Dodge and I have in common? They love a four-wheel drive. I love a four-letter word. Dodge has fabulous engineers. I mean, they're so good. I have hired them to do my next face. I used to babysit the Dodge brothers. Awful kids. Anyhow, I gotta go. My face is melting.
Hurry in. Curtains close April 30th. Well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Dodge Journey SE all-wheel drive for $179 a month.
I'm a frequent flyer, but it feels like I never get to go where I actually want to go. But when I finally do get to cash in, go somewhere new and exciting, I get shut out. No flying this weekend. Plans? Ruined. I should be able to fly whenever I want, right? You know, someone should really do something about that.
JetBlue's True Blue loyalty program. No blackout dates and points that never expire.
sights that bring people to Massachusetts, none compares to the faces of the people you meet along the way. Massachusetts, it's a welcome sight.
I was impressed with how many great reviews they had.
What makes CertaPro different is that our people really care about making our customers happy.
They asked what they could do to make painting an extraordinary experience for us. And they kept the gate latched.
We worked through a personalized written certainty pledge.
CertaPro painters did a wonderful job. They respected our lifestyle and our home.
It's about 5-star craftsmanship and having truly satisfied customers. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. CertaPro Painters, because painting is personal.
New Englanders have a rich history. We drive by historic locations and iconic landmarks every day, and we're proud to call it our home. Defined not only by the people and the places, but also by the very cars we drive. So how close are you from getting a great deal and outstanding service on a Subaru? At Metro West Subaru, you're only minutes away from our everyday low prices.
I'm Michael Petrick, General Manager of Metro West Subaru. Come on over and experience it for yourself.
The Sealy Posturepedic Hybrid. This week, get a free $200 Bernie and Phil's gift card with any Sealy Posturepedic Hybrid sleep system. The Hybrid provides conforming gel memory foam and the deep down support of springs.
WBZ News is sponsored by Sleepy's, the mattress professionals.
Cotton used to be in almost every piece of clothing in our closets, but have you checked the labels lately? Things have changed. More and more designers now are using man-made materials including polyester, lycra, even neoprene rubber. Imports of apparel made from synthetic fiber are up 20% over the last 3 years, while cotton clothing has dropped 14%. Designers say that the reason is simple. Synthetics often fit better.
While turning to social media for the perfect outfit, cotton or otherwise, could be a huge time saver and a way not to exceed your budget. Kate Merrill shows us how shoppers are sharing secrets at a whole new level.
Yeah, I actually have these silver pumps right here. I couldn't figure out where they were from, so I put them on.
See it, post it, find it. The hunt is connecting savvy shoppers and the fashion conscious through social media.
The basic concept is, when you're browsing Instagram or Tumblr or Pinterest or Facebook, and all the time we see photos of other people whose outfits we may want to wear.
It's taking the guesswork out of shopping and engaging people at the same time.
People are very geographically dispersed, and they're able to make these connections with someone that they might not have otherwise known.
A new mom, Rachel Talbot, says the hunt saves her precious time searching for what she wants.
And I told them that my budget was under $100. So the community went to work and found them for me for all different prices.
It's putting the shopper in control of their budget while virtually meeting people with similar interests.
And you see things all the time on social platforms where you're like, where are these shoes from? And you put it on there, and the community helps find it for you. Really, it helps you shop more, which we all want to shop more, right?
You can either use the hunt by visiting their website or downloading their free app. Happy hunting. Kate Merrill, WBZ News.
Coming up for us, an I-Team investigation into a charity claiming to collect money for local veterans. So, why haven't the vets seen even a single dime?
And after a beautiful Friday, things changing as we head toward the weekend. We've got some rain, maybe even some flakes to dodge. We'll have the timeline for both coming up.
President Obama wanted to speak to Boston before the marathon. He turned to WBZ's Lisa Hughes.
Mr. President, what do you want to say to the people of Boston?
I want to just say how proud I am of the entire city.
For an exclusive one at the White House.
Why was it so personal for you?
The resilience that was on display in the city, I think, made it very personal for people all across the country.
Lisa Hughes, part of the team you know you can trust. We are WBZ News.
Real people, steel people. They just won't compromise. Steel trimmers start at just $129.95. Visit steeldealers.com.
Charles, where's Dad? Doesn't he know we're shooting a new Kia commercial?
I don't know. Maybe he's in the all-new 2014 Kia Sorento?
I'll bet he's behind the wheel of a new Kia Optima. He loves that car.
Let's go find him.
Dad, are you in here?
Last time I saw him, he was with all the kids.
You can drive a 2014 Kia Sorento for $129 a month or a brand new Kia Optima for only $99 a month.
Shop us last. You'll love us.
Beltone, a global leader in hearing care, is conducting a new trial on innovative hearing aid technology. If you qualify to participate, you will be asked to evaluate a remarkable new product from Beltone. This small device delivers power and clarity, It is virtually invisible and comfortable. Call 1-800-BELL-TONE now and hear sounds, words, and conversation more clearly from your phone, TV, or iPhone. Call 1-800-BELL-TONE today.
Let's do it.
Which of you has the more powerful engine? Okay. I also want heated and cooled front seats. It has to be standard. Do you have that?
It's clear, right?
Definitely.
When you're looking for a luxury SUV, make sure you ask the right questions. Visit your Lincoln showroom today and lease the powerful 2014 Lincoln MKX for $389 a month.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories, to our graduate work in renewable energy, to our advancements in life-saving storm tracking technology, and our mission to modernize some of the state's oldest native industries. At UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive the lowest ever lease on a well-equipped Corolla Sport for only $117 a month with no cost maintenance included. The Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up May 5th. Toyota, let's go places.
Real people, steel people. They just won't compromise. Steel trimmers start at just $129.95. Visit steeldealers.com.
CBS Money Watch Stock Update is brought to you by the Massachusetts State University System.
Tonight, an I-Team investigation. People want to help veterans, and they are willing to open their wallets to do it.
But the I-Team finds one charity exploiting that goodwill, collecting thousands of dollars in donations. And as Chief Correspondent Joe Shortsleeve shows us so far, the group isn't providing any services to veterans.
Wait, I'm sorry. It's a bad day for the charity called Veterans Community Foundation. Their solicitors, with buckets of cash donations, are confronted outside a supermarket by Hingham police.
I will be arrested for trespassing.
Their rental car is towed, and two solicitors are arrested on outstanding warrants, unrelated to their charitable work. One problem? This Rhode Island-based group is not supposed to be collecting donations here in Massachusetts.
They're a scam.
Jesse Flynn of Disabled American Veterans says this group offers no programs for veterans.
This hurts veterans, and it hurts the public, obviously, because they're giving their money thinking it's going to help veterans.
I was fortunate to, make it back.
Dan Magoon fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now he's heading the effort to build the Fallen Heroes Memorial in the Seaport District.
What's your reaction when you hear about what they're up to?
It hurts. They're taking advantage of people that you don't take advantage of.
The I-Team found that some of the same people running this charity used to work for another group, the Veterans Support Organization, which has been fined or banned in 6 other states.
It's the same employees, same tactics.
There are strict rules that charities must follow so the public can be sure that their donations are actually used to help veterans. Charities must fully disclose their finances to the Attorney General's office. But the Veterans Community Foundation has not done that.
Do you know how much money they've raised in donations and how they're spending it?
Well, that's exactly the point. We actually have no concrete information about how much they have raised, where that money is going.
What do you say to people who are thinking about contributing to this charity?
I would say think again.
Like any startup business, you run into some challenges that you don't expect.
Kimberly Silva, CEO of Veterans Community Foundation, defends her charity, but admits it has yet to offer any services to veterans.
I think that if someone really looks at where we're going, they think it's fabulous. They think it's necessary for veterans.
Silva denies her group has any connection to that other troubled charity, even though they both work out of this office in Rhode Island.
How much money have you raised in donations so far?
Honestly, I'd have to look it up. I wasn't prepared that you were going to ask me that question. But I can, $100,000.
Okay, and how have you spent that money?
A lot of it, quite honestly, I haven't spent yet.
Silva blames her problems on an innocent paperwork error. The Attorney General isn't buying it.
They failed to do what they're supposed to do. They failed to respond to our inquiries to do what they're supposed to do. And yet they are still actively soliciting funds in Massachusetts.
The AG's office obtained a temporary restraining order Wednesday barring the charity from soliciting donations in Massachusetts and accused the group of falsely claiming 80% of donations go directly to benefit veterans. For the I-Team, Joe Shortsleeve, WBZ News.
Now, if you have a tip for the I-Team, we want to hear about it. You can email it to iteam@WBZ-TV.com. You can also call our tip line, which is 617-787-7030.
All right, so this was a chase like no other, and it happened in Oklahoma City. Go to the tape, watch this. A man wanted on several drug warrants took off in a RV. Genius. For more than half an hour, police sped after him. Well, that's not speeding. They followed him. The pursuit finally ended shortly after the RV ran over those stop sticks and then crashed. The vehicle then caught fire. Firefighters on the scene had to douse the flames. That's what they do. Officers arrested people who were inside the RV. They all gave up. And I'm sure when they etched that one out on paper, the getting vehicle, it probably made a lot more sense on paper, but it just didn't translate real well on the road.
Right, the invisible ink didn't work.
Let's talk about the weather.
Yeah, you know what? Not a totally awful weekend, and plenty going on to make it fun, but a little disappointing after this week.
Well, last weekend was our good one, I guess. And now we're out of luck, and we're going to be looking at some raindrops moving in. Good thing about this is that tomorrow will be a great pancake day. You sleep in, make a brunch, hang out. I just bought a big old loaf of bread. I'm going to make some French toast myself. And we got some weird weather Saturday night. Some thunder possible, some snowflakes are possible on Saturday night. And cool weather is setting up shop. It's here to stay until the start of May. And then hopefully we'll get into some warmer weather here in the 5th month of the year. For this evening, it's 61 in Worcester. It's 55 in Boston. Sea breeze right along the coast. So cooler air expected there. 66 in Nashua. Overall, inland, a beautiful evening. Just a cool one as you work your way toward the water. When you move down farther to the south, this little slice of really milder air down toward North Carolina, that's actually where they're seeing severe weather, and that's where our next storm system will be moving in from. For tonight, if you have any dinner plans, no issues. It'll be quiet. Clouds will start to thicken up. The rain arrives late after midnight, and temperatures bottoming out near 40 degrees. There's the storm system in question. You see quite a bit of thunderstorm activity here over toward the Chesapeake. The rain moving through eastern PA, and again, it doesn't get into our neck of the woods until after midnight. So here's a look at the timing. When you wake up tomorrow morning, it will be damp, it'll be cloudy, and the rain will be rolling through. I think the heaviest of which is going to come down south of Boston, around, say, Foxborough and Randolph, and working over toward the Cape and the islands. You'll get a pretty good dousing out of this. Another impulse moves through tomorrow night. That will touch off more showers and some of those snow showers, potentially. The storm's still hanging around on Sunday, which means a lot of clouds, perhaps a few more rain showers before things start to clear out for Monday. Here's a look at the total rainfall, and it looks like about a ½ inch or so is likely. You move toward the North Shore, southern New Hampshire, less rain from this particular one, higher totals as you move down. I think some of these might be conservative from our model, might be closer to an inch, maybe even a couple towns a little more than an inch around Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, and the Cape. In terms of snow, higher you get in elevation, the better the chance Saturday night. Worcester Hills, Monadnock region, the Berkshires, we could end up with a coating, certainly farther north. And yes, if you just love the winter and you don't want to let go, Killington, 26 trails open this weekend. The Loaf is open, as is Jay Peak and Wildcat. You can still get into some turns in all those spots. Should get a little bit more snow this weekend. So tomorrow, wet and cold in the morning. We may get a break from the rainfall in the afternoon. Temperatures stay in the 40s. Very chilly Saturday. During the night, we have some downpours, the chance for some lightning strikes, and maybe some of those snowflakes. And a lot of clouds still lingering on Sunday. Couple of showers, upper 40s to low 50s. And then as we look toward next week, big area high pressure in Canada blocks up the whole weather system. Persistent onshore flow. It's going to keep us cool and below average temperatures through next week. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Monday is the pick of this one. Next week starts off very nice in the 50s with sunshine. But as we head through the rest of it, 40s for highs, the wind off the cold ocean, showers on Wednesday, heavier rain on Thursday, likely lingering into Friday. Same storm system that's going to cause a lot of severe weather in the middle of the country this weekend.
Thanks. All right. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Well, you can find sunshine inside. Spring is blooming at the Museum of Fine Arts. Flower designers and garden clubs from across the region were at the MFA early this morning, creating dozens of arrangements inspired by the museum galleries. This is the annual Art in Bloom event. It brings in 51 designs throughout the MFA. The weekend festival also includes classes on arranging flowers, and you can tour these beautiful designs.
Very nice. Cheating to run in the Boston Marathon.
Several people caught on camera with the very same bid number straight ahead. The woman who paid for the real number is fuming. Now here's Jack with a look at what's coming up at 6. Jack?
All right, Lisa and Jonathan, thank you. Tonight on our news, in a few moments, a WBZ exclusive. Reforming the state's child welfare department after the disappearance and death of little Jeremiah Oliver. Who's going to start watching over that agency very carefully? And imagine imagine living with this just beyond your backyard. One family says its life has been ruined by a bridge reconstruction. New on our 6 o'clock news, the harassment that came after they complained and how it's now put the whole project on hold.
Take the Ford EcoBoost Challenge and you'll choose Escape with the power and mileage of EcoBoost. And now it feels so good to lease a 4-wheel drive Escape for $149 a month for competitive owners. Or get an EcoBoost powered Fusion with up to an EPA estimated 37 miles per gallon highway. Lease Fusion for $129 a month for competitive owners. Or buy with up to $27.40 total savings during the Ford EcoBoost Challenge.
Small business owners, they all build different dreams, but they all need the same thing: to be ready. Ready for orders, ready for deadlines, ready for growth. And that's where we come in, because Verizon has the network that makes small business owners small business ready. Switch to Verizon to get small business ready with consistently fast, high-speed internet and reliable phone with 99.9% network reliability. Call 1-888-610-8090 to get our fastest internet speed available at your business location and reliable phone with unlimited nationwide calling starting at $74.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Plus, get a second basic phone line included. Any additional line with unlimited nationwide calling is now just $30 a month. Call 1-888-610-8090 to get internet and phone starting at $74.99 a month. Call now to get a firm price quote of your total monthly charges in writing up front. Knowing your dream is small business ready, that's powerful.
Tell me about the Honda Civic. It's the most durable, longest-lasting car in its class.
Can I stay in touch?
Bluetooth and text message reader comes standard.
Does it rock?
Pandora compatibility, standard.
Where am I?
The Honda sales event of your dreams.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now at your Honda dealer.
Cheaters at the Boston Marathon? A runner says her bib number was stolen, and she has the pictures to prove it. Our Jim Armstrong explains how all this happened.
2014 was Cara Bonneau's second Boston Marathon. She ran last year, finishing just before the bombings, which inspired her to come back and do it again. She picked up her bib at the expo on Saturday and posted a photo to Instagram right away, which is probably when things went bad. We Skyped with her from her home in North Carolina.
I hope they know how wrong it was.
Cara ran and kicked butt, finishing in 3.5 hours. But when she went online to see her official photos Wednesday, she got really angry.
The first picture I saw was the guy in a white shirt, which was obviously not me.
Neither is this guy, or this woman, or this one. 4 fakers, so-called bandit runners, each of them with an identical copy of Cara's bib.
It was awful that someone would do that without going through any of the work that the rest of us have put in to get there, especially on such an important and meaningful marathon year.
The runners either copied Cara's bib themselves or bought their bibs from somebody else who did.
But in any case, they knew it wasn't their bib. They hadn't earned it. They hadn't registered.
But they ran and finished under her number.
There are people out there who had no right to be there. No one knows who they are or what their intentions were. And with everything that was supposed to go into the marathon, a more safe event, to have unknown runners is not really ideal at all.
The Boston Athletic Association forbids people from running under someone else's bib number, but so-called bandit runners seem to be an annual part of the marathon. That is going to do it for us at 5 o'clock. Much more straight ahead for you. The news at 6 starts now.
A student killed inside her high school.
We are obviously devastated by the loss of one of our students.
The prom date rejection that may have led to murder.
A multi-million-dollar construction project on hold. The graffiti that stopped the work and why it has the state furious with the contractor.
A pipe bomb planted on an SUV. Why the owner thinks the person who planted it is going after the wrong guy.
Rain moving in this weekend, even a chance for some snowflakes. You heard me right here on April 25th. We'll take a look at the possibilities and we'll see some dry weather as well.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
Classmates gathered in mourning, shocked by the murder of a high school student, and she may have been stabbed after turning down a boy's invitation to prom. I'm Lisa Hughes.
And I'm Jack Williams. It's pretty unbelievable. Police say that Maren Sanchez was murdered right in the hallway of her high school this morning. Jim Armstrong is live outside that school in Milford, Connecticut tonight. Jim has late details. Jim.
Jack, this attack happened just as the school day was getting started here. In fact, some students actually saw this young victim lying on the floor inside their building as emergency workers tried to save her life.
Maren should be celebrating at her prom this evening with her friends and classmates. Instead, we are mourning her death.
The family of 16-year-old Maren Sanchez trying to make sense out of the senseless.
The unprovoked attack on Maren this morning has unfortunately, for our family, resulted in the permanent loss of Maren Victoria Sanchez. A bright light full of hopes and dreams.
The popular high school junior was stabbed to death here just after 7 a.m. The suspect, a 16-year-old male classmate, who police think may have turned on Sanchez after she refused to go to the prom with him.
From what I knew, they were friends up until today.
She was just really nice, really easygoing, always positive, just smiling all the time, and she was just a nice girl.
The suspect was taken into custody by members of the school staff and escorted to the office, the administration office.
He is now under arrest and on suicide watch. As a young honor student is remembered and mourned, and her school turned into a crime scene.
This evening was supposed to be our junior prom and post-prom. Those events are being postponed.
With the postponement of the prom, a lot of Sanchez's friends in the junior class, and throughout the school for that matter, are trying to get all the girls to come here to the school's gymnasium this evening to bring their corsages or other flowers to bring them to the gym in her honor, where grief counselors are also available to speak with anyone who needs to. We're live in Milford, Connecticut. Jim Armstrong, WBZ News. Lisa.
All right, Jim, thank you. New at 6 o'clock, a multi-million-dollar bridge project put on hold. The state ordering workers to stop rebuilding this deteriorating bridge. And it's all because of graffiti. Someone working for one of the contractors wrote this message on a steel girder. And as Christina Hager shows us, that message was directed at a family that has complained about the project, and the state is furious.
Welcome to Fallujah, baby. In shock on a steel beam, hanging just feet from the Taylor family's Amesbury home.
My immediate reaction was complete disbelief and utter amazement that somebody could be so stupid.
Scott Taylor's kitchen sink is right under that beam. It was allegedly written by a member of the crew on a nearly $300 million state project to shore up the aging Whittier Bridge between Amesbury and Newburyport on I-95. And now because of the graffiti, the state put a freeze on the bridge work.
This big bolt, which weighs probably about a pound and a half.
Debris Taylor collected from the project, he says, has ruined his family's life.
Random wires.
This is stuff that came flying into your yard?
Exactly. So this is the shrapnel that I was referring to.
Scott Taylor told the local newspaper, the Daily News, about all his concerns over the noise and the 24-hour lights here, saying, this is Amesbury, not Fallujah. And it was that quote that apparently set this off. Welcome to Fallujah, baby. He says it's a taunt to his comment.
And on the taxpayer time in broad light of day, with the taxpayers' dollars and even with the taxpayers' chalk.
The Taylor's lawyer says it's unacceptable, and the Department of Transportation agrees. MassDOT expects this same standard of behavior and professionalism from its contractors that it expects from its own employees. Then a late afternoon update. A spokesperson tells us the state reached an agreement with the construction company Walsh McCord. The bridge work will resume. The Taylors still worry.
What's next?
In Amesbury, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
Well, let's get to the weather on a Friday. Pretty nice day today. Lots of sunshine around. But I guess it's going to change. The weekend will have some less than delightful weather at times. Our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, is here with the AccuWeather forecast. Eric?
Well, at least we got a good Friday in before the weekend got here. Looking at temperatures that are pretty agreeable. 60 in Worcester, 66 Nashville. A little cooler, though, as we move toward the water. Sea breeze is developing this afternoon. You can see the wind coming up off the water across the Cape and over toward Boston Harbor. Inland, this is where we have the warmest temperatures without that water's influence. Still in the 40s at the surface, those water temps. We're watching the rain making its way over towards southern New England. We will time this in after midnight tonight. So if you have evening plans, no issues, but the clouds will be thickening. As we head past midnight, the rain starts to sweep in, and it will be here tomorrow morning. Looking like a pretty wet Saturday, but not a washout weekend. We'll let you know you can get outside without the rain coming up in a little bit. Jack?
Thank you, Aaron. Now at 6 o'clock, a pipe bomb planted on the back of an SUV. The windows of their home riddled with bullets. A Worcester family has endured a terrifying 24 hours, and they have absolutely no idea who's behind it all. As Paul Burton shows us, this family thinks this is a very dangerous case of mistaken identity.
More than scary. Stephen Bowile says his family is actually terrified after coming under attack in their own home.
I'm still shaking, actually.
In the early morning hours, police say someone fired multiple rounds into the living room of this two-story home on Barclay Street.
I can't really describe it, but they were really loud. It sounded like loud popping noises, like fireworks were going off repeatedly.
Then, later in the day, Stephen came outside and he found a pipe bomb on the back of the family car.
It was on top here, and the fuse was on this side. See the grandma?
In plain view, there was no attempt to hide the device.
Mass State Police Bomb Squad, along with ATF and K-9 units, responded to the home. The pipe bomb was quickly detonated. Worcester police say this attack does not appear to be random.
We're not ruling out anything. I mean, historically, there's been little involvement with that home. They're really not known to us. However, this is a targeted situation here, and especially in light of an actual pipe bomb being discovered, this is pretty serious stuff.
Stephen, who just returned back from Africa, says his family has no enemies, and whoever did this targeted the wrong house.
And I have no issue with anybody at all, zero.
The family obviously very concerned about their safety. The scene is now clear. The incident remains under investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact Worcester Police. In Worcester, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
A 77-year-old woman hit by an MBTA train in Framingham is recovering tonight. Transit police say the train was leaving the station and that the gate was down when the woman tried to cross. She walked right into the path of the train. She was flown to a Boston hospital with serious injuries. There were, by the way, about 700 people on board that train.
Now, a WBZ exclusive, keeping an eye on the Department of Children and Families. DCF lost track of little Jeremiah Oliver, the 5-year-old boy who vanished months ago and was found dead last week. John Keller joins us now with exclusive details of a move by the legislature to try to take tighter control of DCF. John.
Jack, DCF, as you know, has been plagued for years by horror stories like the failure to properly oversee Jeremiah's care. Well, today, in an interview here at the WBZ studios, the chair of the House committee that's been investigating DCF disclosed a series of steps the House will take up in its budget debate next week to tighten DCF procedures and give them more money to lower caseloads and train social workers. But that all comes with a catch, an unprecedented level of legislative oversight of an executive branch agency.
The lines of communication haven't been clear, the policies haven't been clear, and we're going to be giving direction to this agency. Unlike any direction we don't give to any other agency about it is time to formalize and beef up those policies.
Now, if these proposals pass the House and Senate, DCF will be required to make unusually frequent reports to the legislature on how it's progressing with reforms. Late today, a DCF spokeswoman issued a statement saying in part, quote, "We share the same goals and will continue our work with the legislature to ensure open and consistent communication," end quote. Lisa, back to you.
Thank you, John. For the first time in 3 years, Boston's firefighters may soon be working with a contract. The Boston Globe is reporting that firefighters are voting on a new deal, and it would give them a pay raise of about 19%. This new deal would also require that injured firefighters return to work more quickly, and it calls for a crackdown on the abuse of overtime. Jack?
Well, Lisa, it's a great day. Cardinal Sean O'Malley in Rome tonight, preparing for Sunday's historic canonization of 2 popes. Cardinal Sean celebrated Mass today at the Church of Santa Maria della Victoria. That's the honorary parish he's been assigned to in Rome. He says Pope John the 23rd and John Paul II had a profound impact on the Boston Archdiocese. And the fact that both are becoming saints so quickly makes this canonization a momentous event.
There's still many contemporaries of both of these popes, and particularly many people who knew John Paul II, who was seen by more people than any other human being in the history of the world.
Well, the Cardinal also said that both he and Mayor Marty Walsh have invited Pope Francis to visit Boston. O'Malley joked that he's particularly interested in making the Pope a Red Sox fan.
He's quite a fan of soccer, so we have to initiate him into the mysteries of baseball. We don't want to be co-opted by the Yankees.
Pardon the pun, but heaven forbid. Paul Abbott, she's traveling to Rome for the canonization. You can say with WBZ, we'll have her live reports for you.
Could not happen with the Yankees, no matter how persuasive Cardinal Dolan was.
Are those two charming men or not?
Yes.
This is just great.
Well, coming up here on WBZ News, Boston Children's Hospital hit by hackers. How the online invasion is hurting people who need help.
A baby born outside of a fire station. Firefighters brought her into the world. Then they had to save her life.
And coming home with a chance to put Detroit's season on ice. Why the Bruins are hoping history doesn't repeat itself.
No, even better, the weather tomorrow not that nice. So have no guilt about hanging out in the TD Garden. We'll talk about when the rain will come down and some dry times mixing in too.
Boston's must-see dance event of the season is Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Don't miss the world's most popular dance company at the Cityway Theater. May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org. Spring has finally arrived, and a Subaru with symmetrical all-wheel drive can help you enjoy it. Love the road you're on and a brand new Subaru Outback. Awarded Top Safety Pick Plus by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Drive home a brand new Subaru Outback, well equipped for only $23,795. Plus, get 0% financing for up to 36 months. Get a great deal and go love spring.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth's flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories to our graduate work in renewable energy, at UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
I'm MARY, and I have COPD.
I'm JDFF, and I have COPD.
I'm LISA, and I have COPD. But I don't want my breathing problems to get in the way of hosting my book club. That's why I asked my doctor about BREO.
Once daily, Brio Ellipta helps increase airflow from the lungs for a full 24 hours. And Brio helps reduce symptom flare-ups that last several days and require oral steroids, antibiotics, or hospital stay. Brio is not for asthma. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases risk of death in people with asthma. It is not known if this risk is increased in COPD. Brio won't replace rescue inhalers for sudden COPD symptoms and should not be used more than once a day. Brio may increase your risk of pneumonia, thrush, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking Brio.
Ask your doctor about BREO for COPD.
First prescription free at mybrio.com.
It's a real estate jungle out there. That's why we've let a lion loose in your neighborhood. But there's no need to run. This lion is on your side every step of the way. Lear Realty Partners. We're one of the largest real estate firms in New England, with over 300 experienced agents, a 15-year track record, and the latest tools, roaring into the market with a brand new name, Lear Realty Partners. The roar that opens more doors.
Diamonds, the Jewelry Exchange has half-carat solitaires for $4.99, 1-carat $9.90, and 1-carat certified solitaires $19.90. We have most sizes and grades of GIA diamonds and a low price guarantee. We set while you watch. Buy direct. The Jewelry Exchange in Sudbury.
Boston's must-see dance event of the season is Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Don't miss the world's most popular dance company at the Cityway Theater. May 1st through 4th only. For tickets, visit citycenter.org.
The hacker attack targeting Children's Hospital is now affecting people who are trying to give money for the sick. For the past week, hackers have targeted Children's, slowing down or crippling its internal pages. Well, that's also knocking out the links which let people give to marathon runners and others raising money for children's. One mother is throwing a fundraiser this weekend because the hospital helped save her son.
There's a lot of other people that can't come, and those people went to make a donation, and so we may never recover that in order to give the money to children's, and that's the whole point.
There have been reports the hacker network known as Anonymous was targeting Children's Hospital. By the way, today, a Twitter account linked to that group called on its members to, quote, leave children's alone.
Well, talking to Eric now about our weekend forecast. We get so excited on Friday, but this is going to help us plan for the weekend. There is one day that's better than the other.
Certainly, it's not going to be a total washout, but we are going to deal with some rain and definitely some chilly temperatures, which I guess we're due. Those are pretty good.
Really chilly, though.
Really chilly stuff, especially next week. Well, tonight we're looking at 30s to around 40 degrees. It'll be quiet if you have any evening plans, but the clouds will be thickening up and the rain doesn't arrive until late. So here are the main weather stories this weekend. Here's storm number 1. This is spreading some rain through eastern Pennsylvania. That's the one that gets here overnight. Bigger storm system to the west. You notice on the west coast, a lot of rain moving in, much needed rain in California, as a matter of fact. That's going to touch off a multi-day severe weather event. That's probably the biggest story. Saturday, Sunday, Monday could see quite a few tornadoes, big storms in the middle of the country, and flooding rain. That doesn't get around here until Thursday of next week, so a really slow mover. For us, in the meantime, this is the system we're watching. Tomorrow morning, it'll be raining when you wake up. The rain will be pressing in with this low-pressure system. This was the middle of winter time. This would be a pretty good snow setup. Not going to be the case. We will see the rain in the morning. I think that it'll taper down for a time in the afternoon. So there will be a period of dry weather. It's not going to rain all day long. But then more showers and even some storms are going to pop up as we head through the evening and overnight hours. That little system dives on in. And then on Sunday, we really don't clear the air all that much. Still a lot of clouds lingering, a couple of rain showers, not a washout day. Finally, we clear out as we head into Monday. In terms of total rainfall, looking at about a ½ inch, but there'll be lighter totals from Boston northward into southern New Hampshire and Cape Ann. Then you move down toward the Cape and the islands. And this is models particularly showing about a ½ inch, but I think it'll be closer to 1 inch of total rainfall. Now on Saturday night, it's cold enough that especially in the higher terrain, some snowflakes could come down. And, well, April 25th, yes, there will be some snow coming, but I don't think it'll be any high impact. If you do really love the winter, you want to hold on. Killington, Sugarloaf, Jay Peak, Wildcat, these are just some of the ski areas that are open this weekend if you want to head up, and all those should be getting some fresh snowfall from this one. So temperatures tomorrow in the 40s, morning rain, little break, more showers for the evening, and there could be some lightning overnight, including some of those wet flakes. Sunday, 40s to low 50s, a lot of clouds. Best chance of any showers to be in the first half of the day. We might get a little bit brighter skies as we head towards Sunday afternoon. So going through the next couple, 30s for tomorrow night. It's just not going to be a great one to be walking around downtown. And on Sunday, a lot of clouds, couple showers, wind out of the north, and high temps near 52. Starting next week, we get some dry weather on Monday, but notice the wind direction sweeping in off the water for Tuesday and into Wednesday. The ocean still really cold, which means we'll be looking at below average temps to end out the month, and increasingly some unsettled weather. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. The 50s on Monday, that's going to be the pick of next week with the sunshine, but 40s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Best chance of rain comes in late Wednesday and into Thursday itself with some showers on Friday. Lisa, Jack, back to you.
All right, Eric, thank you. Well, I'll tell you, our bees have the Red Wings on their heels now.
You know, I think Detroit just has to be in shock. They seem like they had us all season long.
The Bruins just had them right where they wanted them. Let them, ease a little bit and then put the hammer down. So here we go. All right, good stuff. Thanks to a sweep of 2 games in Motown, the Bruins are on the brink of wrapping up their first-round playoff series with the Red Wings. Boston enters tomorrow afternoon's Game 5 at the Garden, up 3-1 after a comebacking 3-2 overtime victory last night in Detroit. Jerome McGinley was the hero as he redirected the Dougie Hamilton shot. The puck bounced off a Red Wings player's leg and into the net. It was the veteran McGinley's first ever playoff overtime goal, proving a little bit of puck luck can go a long way in the quest for the Stanley Cup.
Dougie just shot. I was just trying to get a stick on it, tip it, and then they went right by Luch and their guy battling. So pretty fortunate goal, fortunate bounce, an ugly one, but that seems to be how a lot of those are. I don't tee in it.
Yeah, so now the Bruins can move on to the second round with a win over the Wings tomorrow night at the Garden. Now the Bees almost blew a 3-1 series lead last year in the first round of Toronto, and you can bet they want to end this tomorrow and not go back to Detroit for a Game 6.
You know, there's still
one more game left to win, and we have to focus in on that because we've been in this situation many times where, you know, it came to bite us back, and we have to make sure to just be ready and do the job.
There's a respect factor there that we need to be really good tomorrow if we want to end the series. If not, then, you know, we're going back to their building, and that's something we would prefer not to do.
Meanwhile, Tuukka Rask has been named one of the 3 finalists for the Vezina Trophy, which is presented to the best goaltender in the league. Rask led the Bees to the best record in all of hockey this year. The winner will be announced on June 24th at the NHL Awards Show in Las Vegas.
And it's something what comes after you know, the Stanley Cup. That's your main goal. If you get nominated, it's great. If not, then, you know, it doesn't matter. But you know, I feel honored to be nominated, and you know, happy to go to Vegas for the first time in my life.
Good luck. All right, Red Sox and Blue Jays open up a 3-game set in Toronto tonight. The pitching matchup, Jake Peavy and Mark Burley. Now, one day after getting Shane Victorino back, Will Middlebrooks returns to the lineup for the Sox at third. He hasn't played since the home opener because of a strained calf. Silver lining in last night's dreadful loss to the Yankees, David Ortiz setting a new MLB record for most games played as a designated hitter. It was career game 1,644. As for Big Papi as a DH, moving past the former record holder Harold Baines. Ortiz also holds the record for most hits, homers, doubles, and RBI for a DH. Meanwhile, Major League Baseball has listened to its critics and will revert back to the old interpretation of the transfer rule on catches, force-out, or tags. That, according to Ken Rosenthal of Fox Sports, this season players have had to have the ball in their throwing hand after the transfer in order to record the out. As you watch Dustin Pedroia here, this used to be no-brainer, an out, but because he dropped it transferring and didn't have it controlled, that is how they ruled it this year. But now, like the rule has been for years, calmer heads prevail. The player just needs to have control of it in his glove. So in other words, years ago, for many years, if you caught a ground ball play and we're going to throw it to first, you caught it, and then if you dropped it here, it would still be an out because you had it in your glove. For some reason this year, they decided to say you had to have complete control of it here. So,
would you mind explaining that again?
I'll sit down and watch the game tonight with you, Jack, and we'll go over it.
Thank you.
Fine-tooth comb.
CBS Evening News coming up in a moment at 6:30.
And Scott Pelley joins us live from New York now with a preview. Scott?
Lisa, Jack, great to be with you in Boston. Fun story tonight with 2 popes rising to sainthood this weekend. We went to the Vatican to talk with the man who investigates claims of sainthood, investigates miracles, and tells us how they decide who becomes a saint and who doesn't. Believe it or not, the sales of refrigerator magnets is one of the indicators. We'll have that story and the rest of the world news for you on the CBS Evening News in about 10 minutes.
All right, Scott, thank you. And coming up next, a knock at the door leads firefighters to an emergency right outside the firehouse. How they had to then save a newborn's life.
CBS Sunday.
You have come to my engagement party. I'm honored.
Mrs. Florrick needs a drink. The Good Wife's creepiest client returns.
Meet my second favorite person in the world, Alicia
He
Florrick.
told me you have some great advice for how to keep a marriage alive.
And we guarantee
Mr. Sweeney,
it will be memorable.
you're looking over my head.
It's these glasses. Whoever you're staring at, it matches their body type with a porn star. Oh, that's surprising.
The Good Wife. New episode CBS Sunday.
Spring into excitement at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Sunday, April 27th, we're giving away a Stratos Evolution fishing boat, plus 4 lucky winners. Each receive $1,000 in bonus slot play, all guaranteed. The excitement continues with superstar shows like Julio Iglesias, Bill Maher, and Alice in Chains. And don't miss Wine and Design with Drunken Palette every Friday in April starting at 8 p.m. It's spring, so bring on the fun at the new Foxwoods Resort Casino.
Looks can be deceiving. It's certainly true with furniture. 2 items may appear to be the same, but are they? At Boston Interiors, all of the upholstered furniture is made in America. Each piece is crafted with high-grade American hardwood, reinforced block corners, and eco-friendly materials. So when you shop at Boston Interiors, you buy furniture that's great-looking and long-lasting.
Visit Boston Interiors today and save during our spring home sale. The smarter you are about furniture, the more you'll love Boston Interiors.
Toyota is #1 in value, but it gets better. Because we give you all new stylish Toyotas. Better yet, we give you great deals with the Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings Event. Receive our lowest lease on a Prius C, just $97 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or get best ever 0 for 60 plus $750 bonus cash on a Prius liftback. Hurry, on May 5th, Gifts of Spring will be wrapped up. Toyota, let's go places.
Really? Okay. All right.
Use the ready-to-go spreader and save time. Just turn it on and go. It makes lawn care easy.
Introducing big news. Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens for a cleaner, healthier home. And for 60 million asthma and allergy sufferers, that's worth celebrating. Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner. Police say the person who assaulted a Harvard University student has been caught. Cambridge and Harvard University police say he exposed himself to a student at the Peabody Terrace building. He is underage, so they're not identifying him. Police are still looking for the man who may have attacked 2 women near the Porter Square T station, and one of those women was a Harvard undergraduate.
What a night for firefighters in Quincy. It all started when a cab driver knocked on their door to tell them a baby was being born right outside. The driver was trying to get the mom and dad to the hospital, but had to stop at the Hancock Street fire station because they ran out of time. Well, firefighters got outside, the baby had already arrived, and there was a serious problem.
Baby wasn't breathing when baby was first delivered, so I was able to suction the baby's airway and stimulate the baby to breathe, and baby started to cry.
Well, an ambulance arrived as the firefighters were cutting the umbilical cord, and we're told that mother and baby daughter and father are all doing great.
Great job by those firefighters.
You bet.
We'll be back right after this.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Steel. Find your local Steel dealer online at steeldealers.com. That's STIHL dealers.com.
She went in for a common procedure to treat a fibroid tumor.
I went into this relatively reassured that everything was okay.
But weeks later, was diagnosed with cancer.
The risks are higher than we thought.
And her story isn't unique.
She was my best friend. I don't know why it happened. I'm angry. Sad.
Dr. Malika Marshall examines the dangers of a routine treatment.
It had spread the cancer everywhere.
What women should know that many doctors don't, tonight on WBZ News at 11.
Don't miss the Bach Toyota Gifts of Spring Savings event. Bach Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealer in sales in New England. Drive home a brand new Toyota Corolla for only $79 per month. Come on down. That's right, lease a brand new Toyota Corolla with automatic transmission that gets an amazing 38 miles per gallon for just $79 per month.
The most annoying thing about flying? The treatment. It's like I'm some huge inconvenience. Well, excuse me for wanting a little attention. I mean, am I completely invisible? Huh. Well, you don't see that every day.
Enjoy JetBlue's award-winning customer service.
At UMass Amherst, the Commonwealth flagship campus, we stand for progress. From the discoveries in our new life science laboratories, to our graduate work in renewable energy, to our advancements in life-saving storm tracking technology, and our mission to modernize some of the state's oldest native industries. At UMass Amherst, we don't just think about the future of Massachusetts, we help define it.
It's Bernie and Phil's Triple Play.
And you get it free right away.
Don't wait.
Enjoy the furniture today and take your choice of free tax, free delivery, free interest until 2017. Best of all, there is no minimum, no money down, and no waiting.
The triple play, get it today.
But only for a limited time at
That's nice.
I like this Honda CR-V. We've got great deals during the Spring Into a Honda sales event.
Slow down, hotshot.
The CR-V has a rear-view camera, Bluetooth, Pandora compatibility, all standard.
Is that it?
And the CR-V is the most durable in its class.
Are those McPherson struts?
Indeed.
Nice work, Smith.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now at your Honda dealer.
Tonight at 11 here on WBZ News, Anita, mother and doctor, now fighting cancer, and she says it spread quickly because of a common surgery she had for a separate health problem, and she is not the only one. Her story tonight here on WBZ News at 11. Before we go, we should enjoy this evening.
It's going to be a nice evening, dry evening, not so dry tomorrow morning. The rain moving in overnight after midnight, and a pretty wet Saturday. It won't rain all day, maybe a break in the afternoon, and a few showers on Sunday. Not the worst weekend, but definitely not the best either.
All right, thanks, Eric.
I was going to tee him up, but I'm going to have to wear gloves. Big, thick.
You'll Sunday do it.
You can still do it. The grass is green.
Hey, that's going to add us the weekend, right? Hope you enjoy it.
We'll see you later tonight. Have a great evening.